So the difference between a man wanting a pretty woman and a woman chasing a rich man is literally numbers. Numbers that you can research and that you can look up right now. But to put it into perspective for you, only about 15% of American men in this country make over $100,000 a year. Only 15. And of those 15% of men, like over half of them are already married. And also over half of them are in their like 50s and 60s, because men do not reach their financial peak in this country until the average age of 57. So the majority of these men are going to be much older. And we haven't even gone down the line of other factors like sexual preference or race, or if he's tall enough for you, or all of these other things. And let's say you finally do find that rich man that you want. He's going to have 1,000 other women that want him too. So he actually has to want you back. He actually has to be attracted to you as well, in the many options that he's going to have as a top earner. So I'm not trying to rain on single women's parade. I just want women to be very realistic about this idea of trying to chase after a rich man, because the reality is that there are not enough of them to go around. That's just the reality. So when you're talking about a man wanting a pretty woman, there are pretty women on every corner, number one. And number two, attractiveness is subjective. So that's not like that complicated to find. So he's going to have a better chance of finding a woman that he is attractive to, that he thinks is pretty, than a single woman who is literally trying to chase after the top 1 to 5% in the entire country and hoping that that man wants her back. We just need to get out of this idea of prioritizing things that are materialistic and superficial, because the reality is that the biggest rebuttal that I see from single women is, oh, well, we want these men because we want financial stability and security. But that's not really what you want, because there's a difference between chasing a rich man and wanting financial stability. You're chasing a rich man because you want a certain lifestyle. You want to post pretty pictures and videos on Instagram of your trips to Paris and your Chanel bags. That's not financial stability. There are plenty of good men out here in this country who make really good money, who are amazing men. You don't have to chase after a rich man to get financial stability. So I just don't want women to be out here moving the goalpost, because that's not a very strong rebuttal to this argument.
Back again for another video. Today's topic will be about that video you just watched, right? I think I'm going to make that a small little trend here, where I'm going to discuss in detail the videos that I come across and the things that I see, and especially that come from Black women and other women as well, about the things that Black men face a lot of. While yes, it is true that not only do Black women look for a high value man, if you want to put it that way, a man that makes a lot of money, but other women do too. But it seems to be a virulence problem in our community in regards to how the women of our community approach this en masse compared to other communities of women. So it's something that we face a lot more than other races of men, in my opinion. Now, in the video, she made a few good points, and these are objective things. This is what we're facing currently, and this is what we've been facing for a long time. Everybody wants to be a bad bitch, right? And everybody thinks they're a 10. I mean, you've seen it on Kevin Samuels. I mean, look at the various videos on the internet. Every woman thinks that she's a 10, no matter where she comes from, no matter her demeanor, doesn't matter. You ask damn near all them women out there, live on camera, what would you rate yourself 1 through 10? They're going to say a 10 a lot of the times. That's unrealistic, firstly. But you have to think about, what are the repercussions of a woman, and generally women, thinking they're perfect or near perfect, right? The consequences are what you see, that video. I mean, well, not necessarily the video per se, but what she's saying, that these women are holding out for a man that they will never get, while essentially neglecting the rest of the men who are within the standards of what the average woman should have, right? But they don't seem to think the other way around. Society has pushed this agenda that women are more inherently important than the men are. And that's so crazy to me because, you know, at times of calamity, usually that's the case. You know, when everything is peaceful, you know, and everything is, usually it's the men that get pedestalized, you know, the warrior class, right? You know, the men who build, the men who keep things society safe, and, you know, who keep the infrastructure running. Usually they're rallied as highly desirable in the society in which those things are occurring. And I mean, even times, you know, during war, you know, the men are looked at as very favorable in women's eyes, very desirable in women's eyes. I mean, you've seen how soldiers were treated, even now at the current day, who come back from war, especially that recent war that we went through with the Afghanistan, Iraq. You know, they were treated greatly, you know, because nobody wanted to go over and do that, right? You know, they seen the death toll that came across the screen every single day, and they're like, geez, you know, they respect the sacrifice, right? But it seems to be that for some reason in our society, the women have completely went the other direction. And I was actually listening to someone, I forgot her name. It's the older white lady who has been an advocate for, she used to be a teacher, and she's been an advocate for Black empowerment for a long time and fighting racism, etc. And she was saying, and I don't know how true this is, but I kind of want to believe her. You know, I don't know everything, but I know a lot of things. And, you know, with my just my, you know, brief knowledge of history, which I suck at a lot of times, I don't recall there being a time where the women have completely turned on the men. I mean, really think about that. Think about, you know, from China, you know, to Australia, you know, to the UK, to Africa, to New Zealand, to, you know, South America. Has there ever been a time where the women turned against the men, you know, collectively, where they said, you know, y'all ain't worth nothing? Like, has there ever really been a time? I don't think so. It seems to be that here only in America that is the case. And that was the point that she was making. She was saying this is a new frontier of history that has not occurred before, where a large population of one citizenship within that country in the form of female has turned against the men. That's crazy, right? Like, if you really think about it, like, really, I would like to, you know, I don't, like I said, I'm not a huge history buff, but I would like someone to look into this for me, who may have instances of where this may have occurred before, because I don't really think I've seen it or heard of that before. So we're actually experiencing something that is unprecedented, right? We're experiencing something that is very new in its occurrence. But anyway, but that ties into what I have to say here. That this comes as a result of society peddling to women and them accepting that they are somehow exalted above men, that they are somehow, they've always been these things that men have oppressed and have not looked after, and that they need to be worshipped. This hasn't happened before, where your average woman, no matter who you come across, especially here in America, the Western world per se, thinks that she's better than men. You don't really go to many other places, and I've been in a few countries. You don't really go to many other countries, even modern day, where you see that. You will rarely find a woman who believes wholeheartedly and will treat you wholeheartedly as though she's better than you. Only here in America, in the Western world, will you find that. Now, with that said, that means that we're going to face consequences this world has never seen before as a result of this. The women are going to face consequences as a result of this. There's a verse in the Bible that says, "O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed." I think of that many times when I think of these circumstances. The daughters of Babylon, they're going to face consequences that they have never faced before as women, as a whole in history. They're going to go through things that they have never experienced before. This is why I think that there's an unrest about the passport rolls, because they represent a kink in the armor, right? They represent a pinhole in that outdoor pool above ground. They're the seepage that's going to start the crack that eventually lets loose the whole tidal of liquid. It's going to let loose something that has not been let loose before. But they become so delusional to the point where, just like my homeboy Warren says, he says, every chick thinks she's sitting on the winning ticket. And that's true. They think they're sitting on a winning ticket. Every single last one of them. Just as sure as you can ask a woman, how would she rate herself between 1 and 10, and she says 10, ask her, how likely do she think she's going to be in succeeding in her dream man and meeting him and actually having him in her life? She's going to say, very likely. It's going to happen. That's going to be her verbiage. That's what she thinks. She thinks that she's so much of herself, that she's so much of a woman and that no man can resist her, and any man that she wants, she will have. That once she comes across this man who she deems to be worthy of her submission, that he's going to have no choice but to not ignore her and bow to her feet and ask her hand. Right? What a Disney fantasy. The Prince Charming is coming, and he's right around the corner, my dear. As society works you to death. As society has pimped you. They're so worried about men selling them dreams that they're not even paying attention to who is actually selling them the biggest dream that they're currently buying. Society. That is one key point of being a pimp, to my understanding, is that you have to have something for them to chase. You have to sell them a dream so that they'll continue working hard for you. And the crazy part about it is that most of these women don't think that they're working hard for society. They think that they're working hard for themselves. My dear, every business, every sale you make, every new car that you purchase, every new house that you get, everything that you buy with your hard-earned cash, that cash that you work so hard for, and you put men to the back burner as a result of this, even your own children, they take taxes out of that. Who do you think those taxes are going to? That same system that's feeding you that dream. That's who. And you'll continue to buy it. That's the unfortunate part. You'll never wake up. You're locked into a circumstance that even if you tried to get out of, you'd have a very, very hard time doing so. So not only is it going to be your biology that is driving you to do these things, you've already been socialized that means that you're going to have to go through the same level of unsocialization and also going against your biology that has been hijacked by the societal carrot that you are chasing. You're fighting a very uphill battle, especially since you don't need no man, because that's what men do. We're built for this. We're built to oppose the status quo. Women are built to nest. So you would have to go through everything that you are and were created to be in order to defeat this. And I just don't see that happening. Not even the numbers support it. This man that you want. One key factor that many women do not consider when it comes to this man that they want, this ideal man, is if that man will want them. If you, like she said, if you break down the numbers, you say, okay, only 10% of men have the type of money and the type of security that I want in this world. In America, okay? If you add on height, you're only looking at 1.4% of those men. Because let's just face it, only 14% of men are over 6 foot tall in America. So if we take 10% of that, a sample of that 10% will contain 1.4% of men within that certain demographic as far as finances who are 6 foot tall. And then if you throw in he has to be black, what are we looking at? 13% of 1%? I mean, how far down do you want to go? Because every single subsequent additive that you add upon your list of standards, your pool of men gets smaller. And the very final thing, once you have come to a finite description of a man, because it is very finite when you look at the population according to the percentage of men who would fit that description, the one thing that you cannot factor in its math is how likely he wants you. How likely that you, out of one in so many billions of women in this world, he would choose you. How likely is that? I mean, yes, we all have gambled at some point in time. Me, myself, I play the lottery. You know, I don't ever really expect to win. And even if I did, I'd probably give the money away, to be honest with you. But it's a low risk, high reward system. I pay $2 for a ticket. I could win hundreds of millions of dollars. These women, they're literally gambling with the most important thing that we have on this earth. And that is time. Time is the most valuable resource on this planet when it comes to humans. You're gambling with the most expensive thing on this earth. This is crazy to me. This is crazy. This is pure insanity to me, okay? I am going to invest my time in things that are very tangible. I'm going to cultivate myself for achievements that I can actually reach. And that's not to say that what women are going after is impossible, but it's not possible for the amount of women going at them. That's the problem. It's not realistic. But they'll keep chasing the carrot. They'll keep looking and hoping and waiting for this man, this Prince Charming, to show up and rescue them from the big bad, 99% of men. Oh, you low lives. You should be ashamed of yourself for saying hi to this woman. You know she's waiting for that top 0.0000000. I feel like Siri in this month. 1% of man. You know she's waiting. She already told you. right? That's actually going to be my next video. I posted a short video that encapsulated how most of these women view themselves and view you. I suggest if you have not watched that, go ahead and watch it. That way you have a little precursor of what I plan on displaying in regards to the conversation that I'm going to have here with you all in regards to that video. I suggest you check it out if you haven't. But here's one thing that I know for certain. That while men, we are conquering, we are recreating, we are creating, we are making new avenues, there'll be some woman waiting on the man that doesn't exist. And she'll blame you for it. She'll blame you for it. That's what they're good at, right? But anyways, like, comment, and share. Check me out on Facebook. Check me out on the good old Patreon. I still have videos in those areas. Am I going to update it? I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, this has been a Wolf in Bedded Clothes. May you have a good day. And of course, peace be with you.